unless I'm getting massively trolled by Smilegate, we should be getting a custom group summon coming up in the next patch. There's something that indicates that there is one coming on February 6th, but we can just call it a prediction if we want to. And I know that in the most recent 1-minute update summary, if we let this play out a little bit, try new hero feature added, and then they show the banners. It's Brigitte plus Cecilia, and then it goes to the Mystic rotation, and the video ends. So I didn't mention the custom group summon anywhere here, but last time we had a custom group summon, this was also on the non-mate week. So we had Kalric, Destina, Ludwig, and then also a custom group summon with the Emma Luna banner. And if we go to the video from that patch, so equipment, hero, inventory, expansion, Kalric, Destina, Ludwig, Emma Luna banner, and the video ends. So they didn't announce it last time either. So just because it wasn't shown here doesn't necessarily mean that there's not going to be one. And of course I might be wrong. Like maybe I am getting trolled by Smilegate and the thing that they have is just there to troll people. But what's Epic 7 without gambling? We can take a look at the tier list for what to put on your banner. So I would say first up, you probably don't want to be summoning on this. Fenne banner is still here if you haven't pulled her yet and you have the bookmarks to do so and pity her. She's definitely worth picking up. You should have enough time to be able to get Fenne, Laia, and Tori. So Fenne's definitely worth picking up, I would say. And even if you can get Laia and Tori, I'd say you still want to save a little bit more, I think, because there's nothing like super important worth picking up from here, I would say right now. It depends on who you own, really. But Laia comes with Sweet Miracle, and Sweet Miracle is just used on so many units. Like, it's used on herself, it's used on ML Shu, it's used on ML Peyra. People have even run it on their ML Cowrix. Like, it's gonna be a great artifact for warriors in general. Conqueror Lilius used to use it, don't know if she still does. Also, these are all the artifacts that should not be available. Sweet Miracle, Senya Artifact, Salon Artifact, Frida Artifact, Festivita, and then Renewed Will, of course. As for who Tori is, in case you missed it, she was announced in the Meruan mail. She's going to be the upcoming limited unit in the new Valentine's side story. And we don't know her kit or anything yet, but there is a decent chance that she is going to be good, so we probably want to save for her. As for why you would want to roll this custom group summon at all, it's because if you really believe in Diene and you think that she's good and you don't have her, maybe you want to pick her up. I'm not going to pretend like I'm somebody with the qualifications to tell you if she's good or not. If you want that, you go ask Light, go ask Elfmage, or somebody who actually plays RTA. One thing though is, so Diene got buffed, yes. The custom group summon usually lasts 1 month. You can see here it lasts 1 month. And if I go back to the previous one, this one also lasted 1 month. Funnily enough, this one was also in Laia's release banner. You can see her banner got halfway through, just had a custom group summon happen. But these always last 1 month, and the patch notes were just released on the Friday, and they should be coming here. So even if this custom group summon drops on the 6th, the bounce patch will hit live on the 13th, and you'll still have like 2 or 3 weeks to decide on whether or not you want to roll. Like maybe Diene turns out to be broken and she's a must-have, and then you roll her, or maybe she's completely useless and then you don't roll her. So I would say definitely wait to see if you even need her. If you plan on getting Diene or you think she's going to be good, wait and let people test her. So we can take a look at this anyways. So first up, like I said, the only reason you should be rolling this is if you want Diene. So she's going to be one of the slots. The other 2 slots we're going to be filling with some filler stuff pretty much. The thing is, because Laia and Tori are coming up, you definitely don't want to invest more than 1 pity here, in my opinion. So a lot of the stuff here is really just, you're going to either hope you hit it on the way up, and you want to make sure it's something that you're not going to be mad about hitting on your way up. Or maybe you hit Diene and let's say 70 rolls. You've got 30 rolls left until an artifact, so you might as well do 30 more rolls and then buy an artifact. So we can take a look at the artifacts here. First up is the S tier. I'd say these are ones that are probably going to be a good idea to put on your banner, though it does depend a little bit. Like Soul Consolation, it's good on a lot of Soul Weavers. Not as good as Guardian Ice Crystals, but a lot of Soul Weavers can use this. Like Frida, Simple Angelica is seeing some use right now. And this is just generally a pretty flexible artifact due to its effect and the F-res that it provides. Ocean Breeze Luluka is also usable, so good artifact, usable unit, great combo because you're going to be okay no matter which one you hit. Guiding Light is Guiding Light. Cerise is pretty useless, but Guiding Light is still good on a lot of Ranger openers. And these two are limited artifacts, of course. Sacred Scythe is still great on Warrior Bruisers. Emma Hua Young, for example, if you rolled her, is a user of Sacred Scythe. Robbie herself is kind of the same as usual. People say she's good, and then she's like never actually like super good. She's like maybe okay at best. But Sacred Scythe is still the premier Warrior Bruiser artifact. Rise of a Monarch is a bit of a maybe, so this is only useful if you have ML Ilanov. If you don't have Emily, then there's not really any point in rolling this. Also, a very minor thing, which probably doesn't apply, because if you're missing Diene, this probably doesn't matter to you, but this artifact is tied to Cecilia, and Fallen Cecilia did just get buffed to get a speed imprint, so you could use Red Cecilia, any dupes you get, to imprint Fallen Cecilia. And then there is Celine. Celine plus her artifact, Sword Storm Art Sword? I forgot the name. That artifact plus Celine are both really good, so either one you hit, it's going to be fine. Genoa is Genoa, really strong DPS. Its artifact is pretty bad though. Mort is Mort. He's got his counter block while being able to counter himself, his pen on his S3 and the AoE Fear, and he works well with Young Senya. So he's a very strong unit right now. His artifact is like, I can't really say it's good. It's a little bit too niche. I think it's like only like some Lilius builds use it. The Lilius got buffed / nerfed because her cleanse is not every single time now, so we'll see what happens with Lilius, but let's just say his artifact is bad. Nockwell, still a great opener. Her artifact is more niche, more usable than Genua's and Mort's, I would say, but still pretty niche, not something you're actively aiming for, but you wouldn't really be that mad if you hit it. It's got some PvE applications as well. So overall in the S tier, I'd say these are pretty good ones, just dependent on what you have. This depends if you have Emily. And then these, I wouldn't bother going for dupes of these. Just pick up your one copy and then you're good. Unless it's like Celine and you still need her artifact, you could fish for her artifact. And then A tier is a bit more niche than the stuff above. Like Prayer of Solitude is only really here because it's a limited artifact. This is on HP scaling warriors that have extra attacks, which is kind of limited, but it does help with the HP stacking. Bird's Eye View is nice for cleave. If you have a specific cleave setup that you need and you're missing like one Bird's Eye, then this could be something that you're doing. One consideration for Bird's Eye is that Brigida is having her banner. So she might not, if you plan on powdering it, you don't need to put it on your banner potentially unless you need to, because it's going to be in the powder shop naturally already, at least for 1 week. And then Holy Sacrifice. Holy Sacrifice is kind of a meme artifact, but it's not bad. It just needs Max Limit Break for consistency, and Crow is getting buffed, so if you're a Crow believer, you could fish for a Crow. Elbrus Ritual Sword. It's a little bit lower as a lot of its units have fallen out of favor. I think at this point there's like the 2 people who are still using Candy, and then some Abyssal Euphenia users might use this. That's about it. And then B tier is kind of just here. I don't think you should really be considering these units because the whole point of this is that you're kind of just doing Diene +2. But if you have like a really specific need, or you know exactly what you're doing with your account, then you can consider these. Like Caesarea plus her artifact. Caesarea is kind of just Guild War and Arena, that's it. And then her artifact only works on herself or Pirate Captain Flan. Fairy Tale is really just some mages, like maybe Saltaria or ADS, but those don't necessarily have to be on these artifacts. This is only FRS BBK as far as I know. Yeah, it's just FRS BBK as far as I know, but it's not even like mandatory on her either. You could probably do okay with something else. Might not be worth spending the summons when we have Laia and Tori coming up. Eligos is a whale unit. He is good, but if you need help with your custom group summon, you probably can't gear him, so he's down here just due to his difficulty to gear. And then Alencia is, I think, not necessary, because generally you can just use Mort and it'll be fine. And then Elena, she's useful every once in a while. I think she's kind of just a nice unit to have around, but because it's like we have the pinch from Laia and Tori, that's a little bit harder to justify rolling for any of these. And that's it for the stuff that you should be putting on your banner. Also, there is this tier here, bad, do not roll even with a gun to your head. This is the section where I go out of my way to talk about how bad these two units are, because it's 2025, and, well, I guess I technically haven't heard it yet this year, but I'm sure I'm going to hear people say that SSB and Landy are good for PvE. These two units are not good for PvE. Please do not put these two units on your custom group summon and waste your bookmark summoning them, because there is, I technically can't say no content anymore for SSB, but there is generally no content where these two units are necessary. Wyvern 13 one-shot is not a high priority with Rift existing, and even in the downtime, when we don't have Rift, you should generally be farming runes, so you never have to farm runes when Rift buff is up. And if you are doing Wyvern 13 one-shot, by the time you can one-shot Wyvern 13, Clarissa is a fine replacement. Landy, there's no point in using Landy. She's not used in PvP, neither is SSB really. And then for Abyss, you could use so many other units for Abyss at this point. We have so many DPS that can fill Landy's spot. And then her other PvE usage, like people used to use her in Nightmare Raid, but we have so many Earth DPS for Julie. We have options for Queen. There's just no point in using Landy anywhere right now. The only content where SSB, I would say, is actually best in slot is the 3-man Wyvern 13 one-shot I was doing. But really, is that valuable? Do you need 120 rolls, the 3-man Wyvern 13, for a little bit of friendship when you can just 4-man it really easily? Probably not. Anyways, that is it for the custom group summon. Like I mentioned, you definitely want to see how the balance patch shakes out if you're not sure, because Laia is very, very important to roll on due to Sweet Miracle as well. And it's not like Laia is bad, it's just Sweet Miracle is a little bit OP. We have the bunch of unknowns with Tori. So I would say definitely wait for the balance patch to hit and see how Diene does. And also, in the really funny event that I am getting trolled and Smallgate just put the thing in there for fun and we aren't having a custom group summon, whoops,